Hi there, and welcome to Excel Tutorials with Tom. I'm a 26-year-old guy who works in corporate finance for a Fortune 500 company, and I am way too comfortable with Excel. But I wasn't always like this. I had to learn a lot on the job and spent many hours frustrated, not knowing how to make Excel work the way I wanted. I decided to make some video tutorials for people who want to be better and more efficient within Microsoft Excel for whatever reason. Maybe you just want to boost your resume touting Excel proficiency on it. Maybe you're a senior in college who just locked down their first job by lying about this Excel proficiency, and now you realize you actually have to learn it. Either way, I'm not here to judge, but to help you learn. Today's tutorial will be slightly different than the past few videos. We won't be focusing on specific techniques of data manipulation or analyses. Instead, we'll be focusing on becoming more efficient with our time within Excel. Two of the best ways to increase your speed in Excel are 1. By mastering Workbook Navigation, and 2. By using toolbar hotkeys. These topics may seem basic to some people who have worked in the application for a long time, but it's incredibly important to grasp these concepts early on, as they will be helpful for as long as you use Excel. Let's start with Workbook Navigation. As implied by the name, this simply refers to moving around the worksheet and entire workbook efficiently. Most of you probably know that you can use your arrow keys to move the cell cursor around the worksheet. By pressing an arrow key once, the cursor will move one time in that direction. But let's say your worksheet has a large amount of data on it, and you want to see what's contained in the cells at the bottom. You're not going to press the down arrow key hundreds of times, as that would be tedious and slow. You could take your mouse to the scroll bar at the right of the screen and drag it down to the bottom, but even this is relatively slow. There are two faster methods. You can see that I'm currently in cell E3 with the value archery. By holding Control and pressing the down arrow key, Excel will immediately take me to the end of the data selection. This works for any direction. If you are at the edge of a data selection already and you do it again in that direction, Excel will take you to the next cell in that direction with data, or if there is no more data, it will take you to the edge of the worksheet. Once you get accustomed to navigating cells within a worksheet using the arrow keys and control key, you'll find your speed output increase significantly. I mentioned before there was a second method to get to the bottom of the data set. If you hold Control and press the End key, this will take you to the cell that corresponds with the last row and last column that contain data in the sheet. In this case, you'll see I'm highlighting an empty cell in H57. Control plus End takes me to this cell because there's no data anywhere in this worksheet below row 57 and to the right of column H. An additional note on this arrow key navigation is that it also works with highlighting cells. As you probably know, you can highlight multiple cells by holding Shift and using the arrow keys to navigate to the cells you want to highlight. If I want to highlight an entire group of cells, I could start here in cell D3 and hold Shift. Then I can also hold Control and press the down arrow key to highlight all the cells in that column in that selection. Then, while still holding Shift, I can press the right arrow key to highlight all the cells next to it. One other small tip for highlighting. If you ever want to simply highlight an entire column, you can hold Control and press the spacebar. And if you ever want to highlight an entire row, you can hold Shift and press the spacebar. Now that we have covered the basics of worksheet navigation, let's quickly touch on moving between different sheets within your workbook. While it is tempting to use your mouse to select which worksheet you want to go to, I assure you it is much faster to use your keyboard. You can hold Control and press the Page Down key to navigate to the immediate sheet to your right, or Page Up to go to the immediate sheet to your left. There are a few instances where you might want to use your mouse to navigate worksheets, but these are few and far between. For now, I would practice only using the keyboard for this. The second way to increase your speed output within Excel is to master the use of toolbar hotkeys. You may be asking, what does that even mean? I'll explain. As you know, the toolbar at the top of the screen has many different uses, from formatting to data analyses to file management. The most common way to access the toolbar is to move your cursor up to the desired tab and navigate through the functions using your mouse. But Excel, like every computer program, has a built-in way to navigate the toolbar using your keyboard without your mouse. To do this, you'll press the Alt button once, and you'll see letters appear next to the tabs of your toolbar. For example, you'll see H appear next to the Home tab, and we can select the Home tab by pressing the H key. This will open up that tab and show a new set of letters next to the different potential functions. We can see that the cell color function has an H next to it, so we can press H again and get the drop-down menu to choose a color. I'll navigate to blue and press enter, and the active cell is now blue. So now we know that if we want to change the color of a cell, we can press Alt followed by H followed by another H, or for short, Alt HH. Now, there are hundreds of these combinations, all doing different functions in Excel, and I'm sure you're thinking that you'll never remember all of them. And you won't. But if you practice using the hotkeys when doing your everyday work instead of using your mouse, you'll begin to see that you use certain shortcuts very often, and they'll become ingrained in your mind. I'm going to include a link to a list of these shortcuts in the video description below. But I've found that it's easier to remember shortcuts if I take the time to look through the toolbar and navigate to the function myself for the first time. If you take the time to learn basic workbook navigation and to use toolbar hotkeys without using your mouse, you'll become more efficient than a large majority of Excel users. You might even hear a coworker remark, "Wow, that person is really good at Excel." And that one moment will make it all worth it. Thanks for watching this video, everyone. If you have any questions about the content, please comment below and I'll reply as soon as possible. Additionally, let me know if there are any specific Excel formulas that you'd like me to make a tutorial on. Finally, please like the video below and subscribe to my channel to be updated whenever I put out a new video. Thanks, and see you next time.